told her, only made us closer until July. Now I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time, like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sun. Good things don't last, and life moves so fast. I'd never ask who was better.
Hello. So sorry for our tardiness. Charge it, to the game and not to our hearts. Had a previous live get real juicy and run longer than expected, but that does not mean that we are not here for all things the Testaments. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here and patiently waiting. We appreciate you so
Thank
much. Show love in the chat, hit that like button, and leave some commentary down below about the commentary that you heard here. Ashley, how are you feeling? Are you ready to get into the episode?
I am. I feel great, and I am absolutely ready to talk about it. I've only talked to myself at this point, so I don't know what you thought. I don't know what the people thought fully. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about the matchmaking of it all. Matchmaker, make me a match.
Matchmaker. Okay. All right, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Catch.
Don't tell me not to live this sitting putter. Life's candy and the sun's a bowl of butter. Don't figure around the cloud to rain on my parade. All right. Overall thoughts. Episode 6. We have been waiting. I know a lot of us, we've been watching and seeing Aunt Lydia in the back, wondering and waiting when we were going to get a moment, when she was going to give us 5 minutes of her time. And we got it. We got a full-blown episode of basically Aunt Lydia and some backstory. I enjoyed this episode. It felt like they dropped us right back in the middle of Gilead, the bad part. We went back to the hood. We went back to the hood, and those same, familiar tendencies, like the cutthroat of it. It was like injected real quick, and it was like, oh my gosh, back to these harsh realities. It's like, remember where you came from, Aunt Lydia. It's like, okay, but I thought this episode was executed well, like all of the other ones. I was shocked at the aspect of Vidala and how intimate and close their relationship was prior to us even being in Gilead in that way. I was like, ooh, the stakes have, heightened. What's really going on with their relationship? What can we expect in the future? I like it. I don't know what this says about Aunt Lydia moving forward and what the real end game is, but I didn't mind that we didn't get full, I guess, communication in that aspect or just the mission and the agenda. I'm assuming that we're saving that because I just know you got more in the tub than your writings in your journal. But Ashley, overall thoughts?
I enjoyed this episode too. Again, my only qualm was I wanted a big FU at the end. I wanted a big Aunt Lydia Mayday. I'm in the middle of it. I'm about to smuggle some girls out. Like, I really wanted a big reveal at the end, and we didn't get that. But like, I never mistake this show. You're going to get the acting. We're going to get the writing. We're going to get the delivery. The actors, these actresses, these young actors are giving everything that we need. I think I just wanted something extra. I don't want your notebook, Auntie. Damn it. I want to see a real plan. I want to see blood in the streets. I want to see by his hand, damn it. But I think we can kind of parse together where Aunt Lydia was. I like how it was so reminiscent, and there were so many parallels to The Handmaid's Tale from this idea, or really this notion of never say what you won't do, because you don't know what you'll do until you're placed in that situation. Aunt Lydia thought she was this teacher, this girl's girl, this whatever, until the rubber met the road, which is kind of different than where we saw Aunt Lydia when we got her flashback in Handmaid's Tale. It was very much like, yeah, ho, I called CPS because you're a terrible mother. You were out carousing and a whoring, and I don't like that. And with the man, you suck too, buddy, and you could get this work. I'm not mad at that in the origin story of it all. I too was intrigued by the relationship between she and Vidala, who I still can't stand. And of course, our girls, honey, because when Jehoshaphat calls Shuna a prune, a plum that never listen, I said, well, damn, Jehoshaphat. But no, overall, there's nothing bad about it. I said on my sweet pea scale, I still gave this a 3.5 out of 5 sweet peas. But I did want a bigger with Auntie Lydia because we're still wavering, right? I wanted it confirmed. I'm Mayday, ho. And my mission is to get these girls out. Not I want to purify the ranks. No, I want to get my girls out. So that was my only qualm. I liked it. I enjoyed it. This is the best thing on TV right now that I'm watching.
Absolutely. 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 Well, let's start here. I said, okay. This is how we gotta certify you like this. Okay. I said, this is the certification that we have to go through with Halda. Did you not just need? I could have just put my little Tampax or whatever they use over there in a little zippy, and you could I could have passed it to you under the stall. It's like, no, come on down, sit on this hole. We need you to go certify her. I say, oh, what is the certification process? What does that mean? I was like, oh. I thought she was going to get like some type of examination. It was like, no, I need to see that pure blood drop. And okay, yep, that's the real thing. I was over there with Daisy. Daisy said, what the hell's going on up in here? Major side eye. But we have to deal with the issues of the previous episode because we had to slap Jehoshaphat real hard. She said, you will never. Shunamite said, girl, you will never. You don't know what's going on. Don't say that about where Rebecca's going to end up. Slap to the face. I really enjoy how they like to pretend that they hold this portion of Gilead and these godly girls to a different standard than the old handmaids. But we still have those instruments of discipline. Though they may be, lower, they're not as intense. We still have that. And I always find it interesting how they always involve like the fellow girl or friend or sister in initiating the discipline. Because Holda's on cloud nine. She said, oh my God, like, She's like, but what do we do to girls? what do we do to girls who, have violence against, another girl? Oh, their hands are bound and they're whipped. Okay, yeah, go hold her down. Holda's like, I don't want to do this. But I do like the fact that Shunammite, my boo, they understand that these are all tactics that we have to participate in, or else I could be on the other end of the whip. It's not that I want to do this, but I have to. But I still love you. You're still my friend. You're still my sister, whatever. And there's like no type of contingency or like stress between them after the initial, whipping. I hated that. Like, leave Shunammite alone, girl. I already didn't get my girl. Flo already didn't come see me. Now I got to get my hands whipped and I have to be held down by Hulda. She's like, you know what? It's fine. I knitted something for you. It's real cute. I thought it would help, alleviate so much. She's like, oh my God. For me, she's like, no, actually it was for me. So don't squeeze all the juice out. I still want some of that for when I cross the threshold, but you can have it for now. I like that. What I will say is I'm concerned with Hulda because I'm like, if we're doing these stages and she has to go through the same process that we watched Agnes go through, is she going to be over there with that dentist? Is she going to have to go through, that command and maybe be assaulted in some way, just like Agnes was? And if she does, I don't think Hulda's going to be the one to be tight-lipped about it. But Ashley, how did you feel about this?
Hulda gonna tell, and I love that for her. I really like this, and again, I really am here for like the messaging. Like, and I know some people say it's so dark and like the whole world of Gilead is hard for them to watch, but I think it's important to watch, and I also think it's important for younger girls and teens to watch because in this scene especially, not just the certification process, but what it means now that you're a woman, right? So you had this and you've gotten the thing that shows and qualifies you as a woman, but now we're going to put it into action. And I also liked how in the scene, it's like this thing, it's easy to say something because Hulda didn't really hesitate when the question came about what do you do? But when it was time to hold her down, that's a completely different situation. And it really mirrored what we see from Auntie Lydia when she's faced with this, you're either with us or against us. Are you going to pull that trigger? Like, no, I can't do that. Well, if you don't, this is your situation. I really liked seeing that because, like I said, we can sit on these like lofty perches and be like, oh God, I would never do that. I would never, I don't care. They would, buy his hand me and it would be fine. But when you're in the situation, I think it's totally different. The certification process was terrible. It was disgusting. It was vile.
So happy,
it was
though.
humane. And Hulda's loving every bit because, oh my gosh, I'm a woman. I love Hulda so bad. There's like this youthful innocence and naivete to her. And I really enjoyed that. I think in part of the narration, Auntie Lydia talks about, I know my girls and I know what they want. I know Hulda wants, I think she says security or safety. And I thought that was so interesting. That's never what I would have gotten from Hulda. I would have gotten, she wants whimsy and adventure and like, excitement. So it's really interesting to see these girls kind of come into this role. Vidala gets too much pleasure. And I know the people are saying, oh, don't count Vidala out. She's probably one of the good ones. This hoe is not good.
No,
I do not
change that.
She gets too much pleasure from when she tased the girl before and now slapping the hand. She loves this girl. She loves it. But no, this was a real moment. And I think Shuna can't even hold it against you because I do the same thing. Now, as far as Shuna, she's not getting her cycle. She's going to be barren. She's going to be a Martha or she'll be an auntie. And I hate it for her, but that's the way it's feeling, y'all. It's the way it's feeling.
Yeah, Vidala's, my opinion on Vidala changed this episode. I said, oh, there's no room at the cross. I thought that there was some space, but when you see the past and what happened, there's something weighing heavy on her shoulders and her heart and like a vengeance underneath that because you tried to do that thing and now I'm just expected to stand here next to you. And then you see that she can't really, due to rank, take whatever stressors she has out on Aunt Lydia, but I'm going to administrate it to these girls because I can. Sad. It's 6 cycles. I was like, no.
But getting there, Tyra, was for me because Commander Maddox, he's ready. Like, you think you're gonna send my girl to that commander who plied her with liquor? How about the certification? I can't be bothered with you, Vidala.
Yeah, she's using these girls as like a tactic to get underneath Aunt Lydia's skin, which is like extremely petty because we don't have anything to do with that. But getting into that. She said, oh, the God, like, it's just like, God deciding your fate. Shooter said, is there a difference? I mean, the aunties and the gods is pretty much the same here. And we're getting into this crush. Deciding the girl's fate, I thought after or just during the ball, I thought it was already established who was going to really go to who. And this was just all semantics. I really did. So then when we get here and it's still like undecided, Shuna knows all. She says it's going to be like 2 to 3 suitors per girl. And then, the suitor comes and approaches and does their bid. And then there's marriage. It's a very, very simple process. I was like, well, I thought we kind of zeroed in on something after the ball. But now the girls are standing around just as nervous as can be because who am I going to end up with and what is it going to be like? Poor Becca. Becca is just as cynical as they're just like, yep, go on walk the plank. Prepare to walk the line, boss. Here comes prison. Here comes jail. Here comes the end of life that we know it. Like, she's equating this to just death. This is death to everything that we are right now. They're like, oh my God, can you just not? Can you just relax? This is important to some of us. What's really going on here? And then we have to pull her to the side and talk about crushes. Because I would die just to really have my pick of who I want to be with. She's like, I've just been really over here crushing on Garth. It's something that I just can't have and I can't explore. And it's just, you have Becca over there like, girl, I've been really crushing too. And to all you people out here who want this relationship with Becca and Agnes to just be as asexual as possible, and she doesn't have those kind of desires towards Agnes, she loves Agnes as a friend, but she loves her as a potential partner and in a sexual way also. But that's something that she can't explore. So she's really shielding a side of herself emotionally to even sit here and have this moment, because it's like you get to have those feelings and share them. You even got to dance with them. I won't get to have any of that with you or any other woman just because of where we are. So I do think it's that. But once we get through them going through the motions of, the prospects and what the girls want, it's just like, well, I really don't know what Agnes wants, but this one wants that one, and this one, well, Maddox is, available for. She's like, excuse me? You mean that man They tried to liquor her up. Well, she doesn't have a lot of options. I don't care what she has. She won't ever go over there with him. There's an air of protection. But like I said, it's the moment, every single moment that Vidala feels smited in any way, especially from Aunt Lydia, and it's just this chain of command. Okay, well, yeah, now I'm going to do something to these girls because I feel like you're doing something to me. That is so petty. But I was proud of Becca for putting her, personal feelings to the side to try to be here for Agnes. Ashley?
You can't trust her. You cannot trust Becca. At this point, the whole time, I'm like, Agnes, please don't tell her this. Please keep this to yourself, girl. Please keep this to yourself. And I don't know if you have another slide, but Agnes was full of boldness because you came to Auntie Lydia.
Like, yeah, I got some of that.
This the one I want. This the one I want.
Crazy.
I struggle with Becca because all we have seen is this really kind of surly Rebecca, and I get it, but I wish we knew a time where it wasn't this, where it was just fun, light friendship between the two, because now it's almost this resentment between them. Like, we've seen glimmers of it, but I don't really necessarily believe that they were ever had this deep, close friendship. I don't know. And maybe you can't in Gilead, and maybe that's the point of it. But I really feel like I want to know Becca more. I want to know what goes on in your house. She says in this episode, yeah, my mom's not even talking to me right now. I just really don't give a damn. And I fear Becca is going to be on the wall. Girl, you can't go around. You're saying this in front of Jehoshaphat. You're saying this out. Who wants to get married anyway? Damn it. Like, oh, yuck. Like, maybe they'll put me aside. Maybe they'll put me. And I'm thinking, girl, you make no choices. What part of you being in Gilead and being a woman is not registering that you have no choices? You don't have a voice. You saying this right now is dangerous until finally Agnes is like, girl, shut up. This is our lives. Like, these are real things with us. I don't know. I hated her confessing that about Garth. I did not like that. I don't know if I even necessarily liked Agnes going to Auntie Lydia about Garth. I feel like this is the road to heartbreak for Agnes, and she's still so optimistic. Like, as soon as we saw that episode, everything else be damned, when I see Garth and he's going to be a commander in a couple weeks. Oh my God, this is my future. Like, everything else, throw caution to the wind. I don't like that. And again, we know that Becca is the queer character. There have been interviews where she has stated that she is the queer character on this show. So, I mean, and I don't know why y'all are so pressed about it. We saw it in Handmaid's Tale. Like, it's been within the universe. I think whenever you have this many women in close proximity, especially without normal interaction with others, like, you're gonna see it. And
I think they're saving it. I think they're saving what you want to see, because I don't know. Shunammite's my girl, but I don't trust Becca. I think they're saving it. I think the moment that I hate to see that, but when we have Hulda go through her little greener stage, and she goes to visit, and something occurs with that dentist, Hulda's gonna speak up, and then they're probably gonna go back to try to find out, okay, well, who else? And if there's a little strain there, because you said my dad did what? Okay, well, yeah, I got your Garth. Like, who I think then I got this, and I also know these things about you, so now I'm going to really play on what you wanted in this entire time, and I got it. I think we're going to see more of those factors come from her later, because we have to bring that dentist back into the equation. You don't get off scot-free, sir. You got to go down for your crimes. Okay?
We're going to see that. I really think, and I saw a comment earlier, and it kind of made sense to me, that this will be a lesson from Lydia to Agnes. In terms of, people are not your friends. This is not the situation.
Absolutely.
Thinking about how I think it's going to turn out at the end and who was actually chosen for who. Yeah. Auntie Lydia's going to make this messy, because none of y'all are your friends. None of y'all are friends for real.
Absolutely. Because you rolled up and told me, what? Crazy. I said, girl, what? But we go back. I tried with these scenes. You're never, I felt like we tried to add a different layer. Y'all know I don't like Aunt Lydia. There's no salvation for her for me. I don't. But I felt like we put a little bit of pressure off of her character here and her as a teacher. Baby, we saw you over there and how you were conducting yourselves way before you ever met a commander. And you felt smited because that man said, I need a little, hold on. Say, woo, slow down, 10 speed. Said, I, as much as I enjoy them kisses, Lydia, I need a little bit more time, just chill, principal to teacher. But I do want to date you though. She felt smited, she felt rejected, and you went over there and you took it out on that so-called friend and her son. that you were teaching, and you called those people on that lady, and you were being extremely judgmental. Aunt Lydia has always had an air of just being superior and I know better. And she's been really judgmental before we got here. So when we get here and it's, oh, whose job was it to refill the coffee? Who was supposed to buy coffee? Because that's my bigger stressor right now at this moment. And then it's just like, boom, them boys outside. I said, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then we're yanked and we're thrown into this stadium. I'll say, oh, y'all done took us all the way back to Gilead in these high stakes situations. The way that they were treating these women in this stadium, the bread loaves, the loaves of bread of it all, the peeing, like just animals. It was terrible. But they did, you know, what they always do, a perfect good job of showing us the indifference, because we're trying to purify the nation at this point. Who are you? You're an unwed mother. Oh, you're gay. You're this. Yeah, you go. You all have to go. If you don't mean this cause any good and you're not going to be essential, we're going to take you out. And then you have to, of course, make decisions here. At this moment, I was like, oh, Vidala, you was a teacher down at the school? Isn't this a coinky dink? So you guys go all the way back and you really get to see the high stakes in this situation to see why, okay, when it's my turn, I have to make some decisions later. But this Aunt Lydia, I mean, if you say so, but I know better. I will never trust her. Ashley?
Aunt Lydia is going to come around that bend. I know she is. And it's not going to look like everyone wants to, because clearly she's going to be an anti-hero. But here's the thing. And what I'm trying to go into this looking as, like, what would you do in the situation? Are you going to take that bullet to the head, or are you going to take out Vidala? As for me in my house, I'm probably going to take out Vidala. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm going to try to make my life as comfortable as whatever. I think that this is horrifying at its very core, because can you imagine be living your daily life just in the middle of a regular workday and you're invaded by them people? There's been a coup. The government's been overthrown. You're being kidnapped, taken to an undisclosed location. The first thing you see in the first 5 minutes there is an execution, and you don't know why. Now I've got to go be interviewed, and I basically have to make an appeal for my life. Lydia was going to do everything she could to survive. Now, what I will say, her picking out them colors and making real, I said, oh, she's on her Serena Joy energy. Like this is where this is where it started to shift. I will say, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think when we see her at the end of Handmaid's Tale, that final season, when she saw what the truth was of these commanders and that they weren't pious and this wasn't about God, there was a shift in her. I can't believe that is all for nothing. Lydia's not a dumb woman. In some way, something's going to happen where she's going to be pivotal to overthrowing Gilead, or at least attempting it. I'm holding on to hope for that. But what I will say is, in this moment, I think you're right. You alluded to it earlier. The fact that what happened at that stadium, especially for Vidala, that's not something you forget. Lydia pulled that trigger, baby. She pulled it. And I don't think even though she brought her in and probably later elevated her and said, okay, you can be an auntie, you'll be safe this way, you don't forget something like that. You never forget something like that. And I wonder how it's going to play out. It's really an impossible situation.
We're going to see. It's just, I don't like the thought that, I feel like it's always trying to be painted as if these things weren't dormant in Aunt Lydia already prior to these people getting here.
Yeah.
Even in the time span, like the shift of us meeting Aunt Lydia and the handmaids and the good girls, and us even capturing and having the hostile takeover and the separation in Canada and X, Y, and Z. These are a few years, like that's a big leap in like a couple years when it's in training, and you know she's practically a Gilead fanatic. It was always there. I think this is someone who got drunk with power and she reveled in her position. The innocent lamb routine and, you know, decisions and choices had to be made. It was me or her. I get that. But you were cynical way before these people touched down. This was just an opportunity for them to bring it out of you and you to be your true self. Okay. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Again, I saw someone say understanding isn't forgiveness. And I don't think anyone's forgiving Auntie Lydia. The whole got pushed down the stairs by June. We saw what she did. We saw everything that she did. What I'm saying is I think there is possible redemption for anyone. And I do think that she will be an anti-hero ultimately. But that don't mean you gotta like her. I mean, or
Yeah,
forgive her.
when he pulled her in, but it's like even now at this moment, where we try to be strategic with the fabrics and you get to make a choice and pick it out, and it's like, yeah, I chose this fabric because I'm still dealing with what I'll have to do in this position, and we don't deserve to be comfortable in these type of linen, so I'm going to pick the harshest fabric here because that's what I deserve. But at the same time, you are enjoying this. You like this. You like the power here. She's reveling in it. But we do get, a little OG Commander Judd here. He rolls up. I said, "Oh, y'all go far back for real." And it's just like, yeah, we had every intention at this moment of possibly executing Lydia like everybody else, because what's your history? You're not really that essential. You dealt in things like aborting children. It's not really looking too good. So we have to think on the fly on how to make ourselves useful, appeal to some of those more diabolical sensibilities, stroke some egos. I'll do whatever I need to do. I just know that I don't want to die. At this point, we've been in this stadium for a long period of time, and we've just woke up to Vidala being gone, and we're going to assume that she's dead. So now it's just me on my own, and I need to make a decision. And it's like, okay, well, Commander Judd, being Commander Judd, all right, you want to be down? Let me see how far you're willing to go and what you're willing to do. It's like, well, yeah, I thought I could just, no. I need you to line up with the rest of the men and execute these women. Well, no, not that. Please don't make me do that. It's like, maybe the choice is yours. Either you're going to do it or you're going to get on your knees and be next to her. And then, of course, we have to do it. And I was like, this was so messy. Not that I wanted to see Vidala die, but the fact that you just wanted to see what my loyalties were and you had no intentions of me actually killing Vidala. Oh, but now I'm sitting here next to somebody who's probably been waiting for the day to clip my wings, because how could you do this to me? I thought we were friends. You have them in the stands for some time, and I'm sorry, it was my turn to get the coffee. Like, they did have some form of a relationship, intimate enough for her to feel like if we're here and they're exchanging roles, would Vidala have done the same? Were you going to kill me? I wouldn't have. We really don't know. Nobody would know unless they're in this situation. But at the end of the day, it is about self-preservation. She says, I don't want to die. I don't want to die either. So I have to do this. But every single day, I'm sure Vidala has thought about this and it's weighing on her. So when we have the episodes before and she's being propositioned now by Commander Judd and she's taking notice, I think that there's so much resentment and she's hurt, and hurt people hurt other people. Vidala couldn't possibly be okay. But actually, what did you think about this really intense moment and the fact that we knew probably that there weren't going to be any bullets in the gun, but Judd just decided to test Aunt Lydia because he could?
Yeah, gang. Do you gang bang? Like, throw up your hood. I said, oh, this is gang life. You got to be jumped in. This is about initiation with these sons of Jacob. You got to show that what you talked about in that room, you're really with. Again, we knew Vidala is alive present day. So, it kind of took away some of the thing. But still, you felt the intensity of it because it's like, this is supposed to be your coworker friend. And you're ready to blow her away because it's going to mean that you get to live. I will say, I think it's interesting in the narration, Auntie Lydia talks about, misogyny not being the worst thing, right? Or misogynist men not necessarily being the worst thing, but it's the men that understand the value and the power that women hold and take that and control it. And I think that's what makes Judd, Fred 2.0, and again, he can't even be Fred 2.0 because Fred wasn't even this smart. But the fact that you're able to wield this power and control that you already know that women possess. He doesn't hate women. He just wants to use women. And I think that's a huge difference here. And I think that's what makes him so diabolical, because you can do this with a straight face. Like, these women were treated so inhumanely. They're kicking them down the steps. They're beating them down with the butts of rifles. Like, this was awful and traumatic. And then to get here, Lydia acts surprised, and to see them just in conversation later, people have kind of been making suggestion that he's the reason why she ascended to this place of power after she was almost about to be hanged at the end of The Handmaid's Tale, because they're just that close. Even in this episode, your price is far above rubies. Like, you're that girl, Lydia. You taught me some things. It's very interesting, this dynamic, and I can't wait to see it disintegrate. Like, I want it to blow up. I want him to look up and be like, damn, Auntie Lydia, you did this to me. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm waiting for. But no, this was. I mean, this is Handmaids.
I don't know.
Out, and it appeals. There's something in Lydia that this type of dynamic appeals to. I mean,
absolutely. As long as we can acknowledge that elephant in the room.
She doesn't want Gilead to be over. She just wants it to be safe. Like she doesn't. She likes the structure of it. I won't say that. But as long as the girls are protected.
It's the idea that she's been involved in every single ounce of this part of the structure. Like you created this, and you would think if it's like, well, I'm going to manipulate and trying to get in these rooms because I don't want to die. But at the same time, I don't want to project something on women that I don't want to participate in or do. Maybe I can be a saving grace. No, you implementing the stonings and any ounce of discipline, like every ounce, because from the looks of it, when they're talking and he's looking at her file, there was no structure on that side at all, or them thinking about the aunties and how essential other women could be to other women in this place. There's just, executions happening, and if you're not with it, you're going to get lost, whatever. But Aunt Lydia comes in, and I'm here, and I got this position. So at the same time, I'm going to choose this harsh fabric because this is all that I deserve. And this is going to just be an uphill battle. And probably getting back into those commanders. Yeah, if you do anything, I can cut off your hand, and I can do this. And we're creating all of these rules. But then when we get to the women in the Handmaid, you made up the list in the structure for... If you do this, we're taking out the tongue. We're taking out an eye. We're going to zap you with this cattle prod. We're going to... Damn, did you do enough? When does that, like, the lethal part, where does that come from? It's like something was in you. Or it's like you're not a happy person.
Well, I like it because at the end, when she pulls out that little raggedy journal, it's like, there's blood on my hands too. And there's got to be a reckoning. Like, I think she has an awareness that what she's been doing is wrong and that she'll have to pay. I don't necessarily see Auntie Lydia being alive. I don't know. I haven't read the book. I don't know where we're going. But I think she knows that part of the cleansing of Gilead would be the erasure of her as well.
I would hope so, because when I read the comments, it's just like, no, Tara, you got to see it. Like, Lydia has changed. Like, she's an ally now. Like, how could you be mad at Lydia still? I know everything. It's like people try to excuse all of her behavior prior and now. It's like, well, that one time in band camp with Janine when she was nice, that's Tuesday. Come on now, there's room for Aunt Lydia. No, there isn't for me. Like, you're diabolical. You got to go. So if we're getting to the point where there has to be a change and an uprising, and I'm a part of that, and I have to go, girl, bye. You did your duty for your country. Go away. Go away. Because, man, the discipline couldn't have been any harsher. Lord, you said you want to do what to the handmaids if they did what? Crazy. Yeah. Now, this one here, Agnes, please. I say, well. This sent me because... you came over here to speak on behalf of your desire. When we have that predator of a dentist laid up somewhere, we didn't have the courage to speak up. I was like, well, maybe Agnes just resides in the space of I don't have the courage to do that. So maybe we're waiting on something else. But when it comes to what I want, so can you sit down for a second? Can we talk? Can we rap a taste? Lydia said, girl, what is it? Well, I wanted to talk about, Garth. She said, well, he's not even eligible. Well, he's going to be eligible soon. So if you could kind of put him in the running so I could be with him, maybe possibly, that would be so cute, Aunt Lydia. Like, totally. Aunt Lydia's like, oh, okay, sure, I can make that happen. I was like, bold. You really don't know where you are, sweetness, and I hate that for you. We're still in a place of fiddly rise and fiddly dee, fiddly faddly foodle. This is not Cinderella Bookie, but she came over here and it's just like, yes, Aunt Lydia gonna do your girl a solid and put him here. Then of course we have the discussion later. Aunt Lydia's gonna put him in the running because she says, hey, about Garth. They look like who? Garth? He's not even eligible. He's really not even anybody, but he will be soon. So let's just put him in there anyway. But you think that Aunt Lydia is going to go out of her way to not only put Garth in there, but nudge you a little bit and put you with the love of your life. It's the fact that we're in here and we're so motivated and we don't know nothing about Garth. We don't know anything about Garth. She just knows what he represents to her, and it's not that type of commander. This is the love of my life. I want to be with Garth. Come on, Aunt Lydia, do you, girl. once we get to the end, of course, and we have Vidala rolling up, I know it don't say Garth. It's not going to, because this isn't that universe. And if you thought that I was going to be that much of an Aunt Lydia and do you that much of a solid to put you with who you want to be with and your preference, you are out of your mind. She is in for a rude awakening next episode. Ashley?
Baby, when they was in the making the band room, making the choices, it was very much like, and Agnes mama, what are we doing? Listen, that's June's child. Like, how are we, what are we? And I'm like, yeah, baby, it's over. Like, there's no way they're hooking you up with a Garth. And we don't even know if Garth like girls. We don't know who Garth is at this point. We just know he wanted to see Gilead fall, but how the hell do we know how that's going to happen? I don't hate the naivete of Agnes. Like, I appreciate it. It just makes me sad because we know Gilead only crushes girls' dreams, and you're June's child. Nothing is going to go your way here, Bookie Butt. Never. It never was. It never was. Now, are they going to put you with a kind man? Hell, I honestly don't know. Leave it to Vidala. You'll end up being with Judd. Like, honestly, I don't know where this is going. But I love the reckless abandon of it all, but I also hate it because I know it's just going to lead to her ultimate heartbreak. Listen, Gilead is not about your hopes, dreams, or desires. And they even say it. She's saying it in her narration. This is not about love. This is not about compatibility. This is not about attraction. It's about Gilead, baby. These matches are only really for political gain and to make sure y'all are not inbreeding. Like, let's be honest. That's what this is about. That's all this is about. Like, I hate it because I don't want to see our girl Agnes heartbroken, but Garth not it either. So
we're gonna see her heartbroken because we also go over here. Okay. Now, I had to throw this in here just in case I forgot, because we had a brief moment with Estee. And she said, oh, I'm the original Pearl girl, kind of. She's like, well, where did you come from? Well, no, sis, where did you come from? She said, here and there and everywhere, I'm low-key, the OG. And it's like, huh? Well, who are you? Estee, you got something you want to tell us? What's going on? Are you an ally? We can use whoever we can get at this point. Are you maybe a little piece of Mayday? Where? It's like she registered and saw something in Daisy, and maybe there's a little field, a little room there. I need something. I need someone. I don't really want it to be Estee. As far as Mayday, I was like, we need someone who is just really high ranking to go, okay, now we really can get moving and shaking. But if it's just, a fellow auntie, then that's not just a whole lot. But it is nice to hopefully have allies in the space. But I didn't know, or I wasn't sure what she meant by, the original Pearl girl. And, I came from other places too. But now you're here and we're chopping off hands. Ashley, what did you think about Estee?
Girl, Estee was probably in the Jezebel. She was probably in Jezebel's Canada or somewhere else. This is ominous. I remember the first moment I remembered, or she made an impression on me. I think it was episode 1 when she's in there with the girls and Hulda says something. She's like, fix it. I'm like, okay, she's a psycho. She's a psycho like Penny to me. I think she is one of those true believers. I think she believes in Gilead. I think she believes in what the aunties do. And I feel as though she's by the book. Now, if Daisy lets it slip around her, Daisy's going to be on the damn wall. And I know y'all said in the book she lives, but hell, if she's going to survive through this, I don't know. Daisy has been, listen, don't let your guard down around Estee. Estee is not for the girls, in my opinion. I think she is a staunch, true believer in the system. I don't think she's in any way Mayday. I don't think she's in any way to help the girls whatsoever.
She will. Did you see how the light bulb went off for Daisy? She was like, really?
Yeah.
You too? Like, is this someone, like, you just really don't know who you can trust? But Daisy has been letting her slip show since she got there, so I wouldn't put it past her to maybe think she can lean in and share some sensibilities with Estee, because we're one and the same. Because she will shut you down. We don't know yet. Just chill, Daisy. Daisy acts first and then she thinks about it later. And Garth made it very clear, girl, I'm not rolling up too often to keep saving you, especially if you're not coming up with no information. Please wait a minute until we see who she is for real. Because she went like, oh, she's Mayday. Yeah. Hey, friend. She said, hey, friend. No. But then getting back over here into Agnes, Commander Judd rolls up. I love how every single time Commander Judd and Vidala are having any type of moment, she's going to intervene. She said, anyway, because I don't need you having any access to this process for real or to these girls because I'm going to make the best decision. Commander Judd, can you really get out of here? Yeah. Can you leave? Vidala, don't ask him anything else. This is what we're doing. But we have, everybody's emotional. Everybody's emotional down here at the school because it's like, once again, Penny went into early labor and we have lost another child. And she said, well, I can always get you a handmaid. That's always an option. A handmaid's on deck. He looked like, I don't want no stinking handmaid. I don't want that. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted with this situation, with the loss, and I'm low-key exhausted with Penny. And then we go back to these vows. And she said, I don't really know. I know what all the girls want, but I don't know what Agnes wants. As if we're gonna make sure they get exactly what they want. But Commander Judd has two options. Because it's either going to be Hulda or Becca over there with Garth, because you're not getting that Cinderella. Or we're going to go over here. I still did not like that moment when Commander Judd first met Daisy and how he was looking at her. I didn't like it. So they're either going to try to put Daisy over there with Commander Judd, or we're going to try and put Agnes over there. And all of her little feelings are going to be hurt. Ashley, what's going to happen with this?
I don't know. And you guys brought this up, I think last week, and my boo emailed or messaged me in the Discord and was like, the commanders, because we're like, where are their wives? All these old men, y'all came into Gilead, y'all had wives. We saw Autumn Hope. Y'all had wives and you had handmaids. So what shifted? What happened? And it's like they put them away. In the olden days, a man could put away his wife and she'd be in seclusion so he could move on. But here they say they're unaliving them. They say they're doing all manners of things to them in the book to get rid of them so that they can get the new class. Yeah, they don't want the OG model. They don't want the old models, honey. They want the new ones. So I think because she's had multiple miscarriages, I think that it affects him and his name and his reputation. When Auntie Lydia was like, well, I got a handmaid in the back for you. Like she already on deck. I can have her right over. And he's like, no, hold off on that. And I'm like, why are we holding off? I was like, is it because you have mercy on Penny? We met Penny earlier and they seemed like a good match because they're both psychotic. When Penny was like, crush them and kill them and what? I was like, oh, that's why Judd likes her. But I think at this point, it's an embarrassment. I don't think he wants to breathe through a handmaid. I'm really curious about who he is. It seems like he has some sort of different code, and I can't wait to know more about him because he is a great villain so far. But again, I think I agree. I feel like he is the most under Commander Mackenzie, who she can't marry because that's her father. It's got to be a high-ranking commander, and I think he would be the viable option. I think Daisy, because she's a pro girl, she's not equipped to be a wife in Gilead. She's just not. So that's the only reason.
But just like a vessel. I'm saying just try to get someone over there to use her as a...
I think if he wanted that, he would go with a handmaid. I don't know. I think he wants a wife. And I think that's why it's got to be. What really pissed me off, though, is Vidala in him. Because sit down and stop smiling. Why do I see all your back teeth, Vidala? Sit down. He don't want you. He don't want you, Vidala. And I'm like, she really thinks she's going to ascend in rank, but I don't even trust his proposition to her in terms of Aunt Lydia. When they're sitting down and Aunt Lydia's consoling him and he's like, oh, your worth is far above rubies. You're the best thing. Yeah, speak the word to me.
Aunt Lydia knows where the bones and the bodies are buried. A lot of them don't even want to cross Aunt Lydia in that way because she knows too much.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm really interested, but I really do think Penny's going to be put away. She might end up on the wall. She might be castrated. Remember they castrated old girl? She was a ginger trader. They're not above it. That's what I'm saying. She might get sent to the colonies because she was unfruitful. And so here's the thing. And they haven't really touched on it here a lot. But we remember in The Handmaid's Tale, when a woman was found to be unworthy, if she stepped out of line in any capacity, it was public shame. It was punishment. It was X, Y, or Z. Why wouldn't this be the same thing? You're young, Penny. You should be able to reproduce. We got rid of those old hags for a reason. We don't need handmaids anymore.
She's still useful. They might try to transition her and make her a Martha.
Maybe. Yeah. I think I like my version. It's more bloody, but we'll see.
Okay, Ashley. Ashley said murder that kills all around. Poor things. Okay. Now, getting over here.
Jezebels. Y'all sitting there in Jezebels, Lord.
I said, oh. She said, all right, got everything situated. I consoled this Commander Judd. Now that I'm all alone, let me go on my secret stash. I said, oh, Aunt Lydia, what you got in there, girl? What you been doing, Aunt Lydia? What is the plan? I've been waiting to get some validations for your presence. She pulls out a journal. She said, I'm documenting everything. As one of the few women in Gilead still allowed to write, I'm documenting it all. I was like, and Lydia, there has to be more. Okay, there has to be more. This can't be the smoking gun to bring down Gilead. I needed something else. Maybe this is the first, ripple in the pond. This can't be it. I fear that this is not the launching pad for Aunt Lydia that a lot of you Aunt Lydia lovers thought it was.
Loves Aunt Lydia, not the Aunt
Well, you
Lydia.
know the redeemed version, like, oh, this is her moment. Like, how much? Because she just feels really comfortable all the time. She likes being revered and she likes power regardless. Because I still think about that time where they tried to excommunicado her and send her out to retirement. And she begged and pleaded and borrowed and everything else just to get back in there because I need my position. I need to be with those girls. That's really the only real purpose I have is what I'm good at. And if you don't, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. They had put her out the pasture before and she fought and clawed to get back in here. So now that I'm in here and I've ascended all the way to the tippy top, now I just want to bring it all down. But if she's thinking about how can I bring it all down but still maintain who I am and be Auntie Lydia, how can you always be 100% in the best interest of the girls? Like, how far are you willing to take this? I don't think she's willing to take it that far. Like, if you really think that this is your big one, because, yeah, I'm documenting everything that's going on here. Okay. And if someone finds out, if someone decides to burn the book, if somebody like, what else are you doing? I'm hoping that she's doing much more than this, or she's a part of something bigger. Ashley?
Aunt Lydia is willing to die for this. We saw it at the end of Handmaid's Tale. And when she makes the statement about, these terrible, nasty men, their crimes, the bloody smears all over everything, and how we've contributed, how I have blood on my hands as well. She talked about wanting a pure Gilead. I want this place to be pure and clean and all of the blood gone. I think that means she's willing to sacrifice herself. She knows she's part of the old guard, the old regime, the corruption. And I think Auntie Lydia is willing to lay it all down. I really, really do. But as far as this journal, this is what's pissing me off. I need more than this. I fear back in the Handmaid's Tale, we had a situation. If we can just get these Gilead documents to the world.
And it did nothing.
It did nothing. I'm like, so what is this plan? We need a Commander Lawrence 2.0 to enter the building. I'm hoping maybe Garth's daddy is something like in the underground. Maybe there's another eye in the mix. But there really are no stand-up men. And even if we go back to Handmaid's Tale, Nick just wanted that coochie. He wasn't really stand up either, but he was willing to do whatever for June. We just need somebody willing to do something for somebody. And I was hoping it was Commander Mackenzie, but he's such a wet blanket, Tyra. I don't know, but what I do know is this journal is not enough, Lydia. Are you going to burn it all down? Burn it all down. I don't know what the journal.
Remember that moment when June got all the letters and we passed them via the mark and via this person and we made it all the way back and by the time they were in Luke's hands, we have proof now. This is what's really going on. There's letters from all the women and then it was what we shut it down with the quickness. Oh, that's false narrative. They said they lied. They made it all up. They lied. That can be written off so quickly. I know you have more than that. I know you know, ma'am. You've been here since the beginning. You know you need more. I was like, and what else are you doing, Aunt Lydia? I know you got more in the tank. But Ashley ending off like we always do. What are your predictions for the next episode?
Agnes is going to be heartbroken. That's the only thing I can say for sure. Agnes is going to be heartbroken. Jehoshaba's going to continue to be a demon. I said, why is she just nasty for no reason? Like, you're just nasty just to be nasty. You just come in a room to be nasty, Jehoshua. But no, Agnes' heart will be broken. We're going to see all the matches from these commanders, and I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to cause a rift in the friendship because we all know. I think everybody feels like Garth is going to be with Becca and Judd is going to be with Agnes, and this is going to be just a recipe for disaster. What I'm hoping is next episode, some of the girls get that La Viva La Revolucion spirit. Like, I'm ready for them to be like, this is wrong. We need to make a change. Like, I'm ready for somebody.
Already, Ashley? You ready for the uprising?
Yes, a spark. Not a full uprising, but a spark. Like, something's wrong here. Or maybe we get to see the dentist be murked. I'm excited to see that in next episode.
I'm still holding out hope for Daddy Mackenzie. I'm still holding out a little hope just because by the time that we gotten here in this episode and it's like what Aunt Lydia has in store in this journal, there has to be someone else at play. Even if Aunt Lydia is attached some way to Mayday and their cross communication, somebody somewhere, and we haven't met anybody else. It has to be Commander Mackenzie. Just, I got to keep it on the low. He has to be an ally. He does. Because if not, who else do we have? Okay, Agnes is about to go outside. She's about to go outside. You're definitely not getting what you want. It's not going to be Garth. We still have to deal with Becca and the dad and my poor Hulda. If y'all take her over there with that nasty dentist to be assaulted, I'm going to be so mad. Why y'all trying to break her childlike sensibilities and her spirit? We wanted to go to the zoo, okay? I think we're going to do that. And when it happens, Hulda's going to tell because this isn't right. This was told to me. I'm going to go tell. She's going to go say something about it. And then we're going to try to back up and go through the motion. Backtrack. Well, the last thing he saw was Agnes. Agnes, is there anything you want to share with us about Becca? And then Becca's going to go, oh, you go down the slide. All right, because not my daddy. And the mess is going to ensue. But yeah. It's not that it's y'all, that was go down the slide. Oh gosh. But Ashley, anything you want to share with the people about what you got going on your channel?
Just run up all the uploads, you guys. I dropped my Testaments review earlier today. We've got we've got Euphoria, and I'm playing with some ideas for some new shows that are coming out. So just be on the lookout. Please make sure you're subscribed, have your notification bell on so you don't miss a thing. If you are a member, we are having a blockbuster movie night. It's my choice, and we will be watching Postcards from the Edge. I'm really, really excited. That's 9:15 on Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a member, be there or be square. Damn it. I'm giving you the best that I got. All right. But yeah, run up all the videos. I'm trying to think. I thought there was something I wanted to talk about. I watched Man on Fire. I hated it. So I'm not going to be covering that at all. But yeah, I did.
I'm gonna check out Man on Fire. We're gonna go over there for Yaya regardless. But hey, dang. Like Ashley said, be sure to run up those uploads. My discussion for the Testaments will probably be up tomorrow. That'll be followed up with my upload for Half Man. Be sure to check that out. Also support Euphoria and and everything else that we drop because it's tea. You know what I mean? It's a good time. But we appreciate you guys so much for spending this time with us today and watching these shows with us. We will definitely see you guys next time for more Handmaid's Tale. It gave Handmaid's Tale this episode. More of the Testaments. Good night, y'all.
She was crying on the shoulder. All I could do was hold her. Only made us closer.